Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the ongoing feud over the stimulus check and explain exactly what's going on and why our congressmen on the left and the right are putting America last through this entire process. But before we get started, I am going to tell you guys about my friends over at My Patriot Supply. We're facing an uncertain future, my friends. The next few weeks are going to set the tone for the next 4 years. And do you really want to be caught unprepared if things suddenly take a turn for the worst and Joe Biden happens to get inaugurated? Because you don't have to. You can start preparing today so you have enough emergency food, water, and other essentials on hand at all times, no matter what happens, and it's best to have at least a 1-month supply of food and water for everyone in your household. You want long-term storage food that lasts up to 25 years, so it's ready whenever you need it. That's why I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the go-to experts for emergency preparedness, and they're the only source my family uses and trusts for our preparedness plan, and you should too. Right now, save $100 off a full 4-week supply of nutritious meals that supply 2,000 calories a day, delivered discreetly to your home. Saving $100 is impossible to pass up, especially now, so go to preparewithReadyGoal.com and get ready now. That's preparewithReadyGoal.com. There is no time to lose. Do it now. So in terms of the 2020 election, we're still going to fight for President Trump. We're going all the way to January 6th. We're going to see who's real and who's not within our Republican Party when push comes to shove. We're going to see who's real come January 6th. But in the meantime, we have a lot of other news to cover, particularly surrounding the virus, the lockdowns, the stimulus check. And I know I haven't been posting a whole lot the past few days, but I'm going to be posting more this week. I'm going to start going live again more frequently because it's been a while. I don't want to leave you guys hanging too much. But in the meantime, we have to discuss something that Bill de Blasio said earlier this week. He said, our mission bluntly is to redistribute wealth. Now, I'm going to play part of this full clip right here. But what he's really talking about is accidentally true. Obviously, I'll play the clip and you'll see what's going on.
I like to say very bluntly, our mission is to redistribute wealth. A lot of people bristle at that phrase. That is, in fact, the phrase we need to use.
So clearly he's saying that we're going to redistribute wealth for our education system, provide more resources. Now, what de Blasio is saying is accidentally true. We are undergoing a massive wealth transfer in this country because of the lockdowns. And what he's really meaning in this whole process is that we are undergoing that wealth transfer. We are redistributing wealth from the middle class to the donor class, to the elites. When you shut down small businesses, many of them go out of business permanently. A lot more people have to rely on Amazon. Jeff Bezos is getting trillions upon trillions more dollars in revenue throughout this whole virus process. And it's important to note this. During the pandemic, we've seen an increase in wealth for the founders of Amazon by $91 billion, Walmart by $38 billion, Google by $37 billion, Microsoft by $33 billion, Facebook for $28 billion, Nike for $8 billion, and Apple for $8 billion, the big mega corporations. But small businesses collectively lost over $200 billion. This is a record wealth transfer. And it's funny, the people on the left that always talk about income inequality, the people on the left that talk about the fact that the 1% has too much power, the so-called populist left, they're all frauds. They're nowhere to be found throughout this whole entire process. What are they doing? They're the ones that are out here supporting these ridiculous lockdown measures that are killing small businesses. We could look into this further. Amazon's profit is up 100%. Walmart's profit is up 80%. Target's profit is up 80% as well. Lowe's profit is up 74%. And Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, and Google stocks are at record high. This pandemic is for them. It's not for you. They're gutting middle America in the process, and they're using the lockdowns as a guise for a health emergency. They're shaming anybody and censoring anybody who speaks out against them, who talks about the many negative effects of the lockdowns. They're censoring, they're demonetizing. The last video I did on this topic got demonetized. We'll see exactly what happens with this one. But in the process, what's happening to small businesses? 21% of them are closed. That's almost a quarter of them that are just not going to come back. You can't flip the switch and expect everything to go back to normal. These businesses are not coming back. The revenue for the rest of them is down 30%. They're going to go extinct in the lockdowns. Nobody's there to help them. And wait until we get to Congress and see exactly what they're doing, because Pelosi didn't want to pass a stimulus. She didn't want to pass any form of stimulus bill because it would give Donald Trump a win. They care more about owning Blumpf. Even though they claim Blumpf's on his way out, they'd still rather own Blumpf on his way out, or what they claim is on his way out, because it's not over yet, believe me, than actually help middle America, help the people that they pretend to care about, that they pretend to represent. And it's a big joke here. So you either give the people their jobs back and end the lockdowns, which would be the preferable choice. I don't like stimulus in theory. It does a lot to raise the deficit. It does a lot to raise the debt. From an economic standpoint, stimulus digs us further in the hole. But if you are going to lock down people's small businesses, you at least have to give them a stimulus so they can actually survive. But giving the people a lot more than $600, it's not per month. That is a typo on my part. It's absolutely ridiculous. Trump wanted to give people up to $2,000. $1,200 was the low bar back in March. Now, Congress is only giving people $600 a month. It's an absolute travesty. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's important to note that Congress, in this bill, is shipping billions upon billions, hundreds of billions of dollars overseas in this entire process, but you can only get $600 a month. Congress is spending $50 billion in foreign aid, $3.8 billion to Israel. Now, I'm not going to sit here and bash Israel. What I'm trying to say is, like them or not, they are a developed country with a debt to GDP ratio that is lower than us. Trust me, they can get by completely fine. And it's not just Israel. Sudan is actually getting arguably more money. The bailout bill for the stimulus gives $600 to American citizens, but $40 million for the Kennedy Center, $154 million for the National Gallery of Art, $1 billion for the Smithsonian Institute, $14 million for the Woodrow Wilson Center. They're giving dead presidents, no pun intended, to dead presidents. But you can only get $600. You can only get $600. Now, yes, I know that per capita, when you add it all up, that does equate to more money than some of the destinations that are being funded. But it's no excuse. Either way, it's absolutely zero excuse in the process from a symbolic standpoint that they're throwing all this money in there. But they can only give you $600 while they lock down the country, while they shut down your small business. That's how much they can afford on you. Absolutely ridiculous. And you see $167 million going to the National Foundation on Arts and Humanities, $1.3 billion to Egypt, $1.4 billion to the Asia Reassurance Initiative Act. A lot of people out there, most of the voters probably don't even know what that is. $135 million to Burma, $86 million to Cambodia. I don't know why. This is not the 80s. Pol Pot's been gone for quite some time now in Cambodia. $135 million to Nepal, which is very confusing. $33 million to Venezuela. $453 million to Ukraine as well. But you only get $600. Now, in terms of foreign aid, I don't believe foreign aid should exist unless it's for natural disasters. We have to put our country first. Our country is struggling. We have a massive unemployment rate compared to a year ago because of what's happened from China. And our country is in trouble. Small businesses are being shut down because of the lockdowns. And I don't want to hear about, but Blumpf, because Trump has nothing to do with that. You look at other countries, their economies are arguably worse. Look at Great Britain, what they're doing with all of these lockdowns, and then you see the economy in a much worse shape than you see America. You look at the GDP drop-off in a lot of these European countries, far worse than the United States. Of course, the left would like to blame this on Trump somehow, but there's really no logical reason for them to do so when every other country they point to as a COVID success is doing far worse within the economy. And it's a massive disaster right now. And where are the populists in this process? Where are Josh Hawley? Josh Hawley is the type of guy that only proposes the populist legislation when he knows that it has an absolutely zero chance to get passed. Where is Hawley in all of this? He's the supposedly populist Republican senator. He tried to co-sponsor the bill with Bernie Sanders, cross-party lines, to provide relief to the American people. And what's he doing? He's voting for the bill. He's not even willing to take a stand against it. He's like, it's not really enough, but it's something. And it's ridiculous. Either you open everything up or you provide a substantial amount. Preferably, you open everything up. We don't want to go further into debt than we're already in, but if you're going to be locking everything down, you have to do something. And there's these conservatives that are going to be out there that are going to, I've been called a communist, I've been called a left-winger. I don't think that they really understand, especially the Trump supporters. Donald Trump did not run on a message of economic freedom. He ran on a message of economic populism, which is true economic freedom, because if you're simping for these big businesses that don't care about you, that's not conservative. That's not conservative at all. Donald Trump took a stand against big business. A lot of that requires getting the government out of the way in some instances. But if you're simping for big business because you think it owns the left, it's not true. These people are in bed with the left. These people want free trade. These people want mass immigration for cheap labor. So it's important to keep that in mind. And the right needs warriors moving forward, not establishment hacks. I did a column today on my website, RedEaglePolitics.com, about that. Trump's the only warrior. Josh Hawley is not going to save us. This is living proof. He's not willing to take a stand. Will Trump veto the bill himself? I don't know. He might do it. He might not. Clearly, he doesn't want to cause a government shutdown again, so it's understandable if he would sign the bill into existence. But $600 of relief, if that's what they're pushing through Christmas, that's the best they can do. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we'll see exactly what happens with this, guys. But again, Congress is putting America last. You have foreign countries, a lot of which the voters have never even heard of, that are getting more money than the American people through the pandemic. Our government will throw the money at the special interests. They'll throw it at museums that nobody really goes to right now, especially with the pandemic. And they're throwing the money at Nepal, Ukraine, Israel, Cambodia, Egypt, Sudan, instead of at the American people. America first is the way forward. And that's what we need to strive for moving forward as a conservative movement, because that's a movement that can win. That's a movement that will be stronger as a result, that puts the people first, not the politicians and not the special interests. And that's why Trump was successful in 2016. That's why he destroyed 2 political dynasties in the process, because he stood up for middle America. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, become a member, donate to the Patreon, or subscribe. Star links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.